This isn't just a rumor. We have the legal receipts showing Blake Lively's legal team is officially targeting Perez Hilton and Candace Owens. This is a subpoena filed in court demanding records from both commentators as part of Blake Lively's explosive ongoing lawsuit. But the story you think you know about this is wrong. The common belief is that Blake Lively is picking a fight with other celebrities, maybe suing Perez and Candace directly for something they said. The internet assumes this is just another messy Hollywood feud, a war of words between big names. But the reality, buried in the court filings, is so much more calculated and reveals a ruthless legal strategy aimed at a much smaller target. The subpoena for Perez and Candace aren't the main event. They are a warning shot in a much darker, more personal battle. This isn't about a simple disagreement. This is about defamation, a blogger, and Blake Lively's child. We've pulled the actual court filings, mapped the timeline, and analyzed the public relations playbook. This is not the story you're seeing in the headlines. So what is this lawsuit actually about? If not Perez and Candace, why are these specific two commentators being dragged into it by name? And how does this move expose the brutal behind-the-scenes strategy Lively's team is using to control the entire narrative? We are going to break down the receipts, the legal motions, and the high-stakes PR war that is happening right now completely under the radar. Let's start with the real target, because it's not who you think. The expectation is a celebrity versus celebrity lawsuit. The reality is that Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are suing a parenting blogger. According to the original defamation complaint, the lawsuit is against an influencer named Kristen Sinclair, who runs the account Growing with Grigages. The lawsuit, filed earlier this year, accuses Sinclair of defamation and intentional infliction of emotional distress. The core of the complaint alleges that Sinclair posted content that falsely implied truly horrific things about Blake Lively's child. We won't repeat the specific claims here, as they are central to the defamation case and are deeply sensitive, but the lawsuit essentially argues that Sinclair's posts were, in the words of the filing, false and horrifying. Blake Lively's legal team claims these implications were made knowingly and maliciously to build the blogger's own brand and drive engagement at the expense of Blake and her family. The suit seeks damages and a court order to stop Sinclair from repeating these claims. This context is everything. This isn't a fight over a business deal or a stolen movie role. It's a mother taking legal action over public statements made about her child. The lawsuit alleges that Sinclair's post, which gained significant traction, opened the door for widespread vile speculation online. So the main battle, the one that started this whole fire, is Blake Lively versus Kristen Sinclair. This is not the story most people are hearing. They just see the names Perez and Candace and assume they are the primary targets. The reality is that they've been pulled into a war that was already raging. Now the question is, why? This brings us to the most shocking part of this entire story, the subpoenas. Why are Perez Hilton and Candace Owens being legally forced to get involved? The expectation is that they are being sued. The reality is that Blake Lively's legal team believes they are key witnesses who may have been collaborating with the blogger. The subpoenas, which we've reviewed, are not complaints. They are demands for documents. Specifically, Lively's team is demanding any and all communications between Perez Hilton and Kristen Sinclair and Candace Owens and Kristen Sinclair. This includes direct messages on all social media platforms, emails, text messages, and any other correspondence. They want to see exactly what the blogger was sending to these major media figures. Think about what this implies. Lively's lawyers are operating on the theory that Sinclair was not just posting her own opinions, but was actively feeding her claims to larger platforms like Hilton and Owens to amplify her message. They are searching for a paper trail. They are looking for receipts that show coordination. Did Sinclair email Candace Owens with tips? Did she DM Perez Hilton encouraging him to cover the story? The subpoenas are a fishing expedition, but they are fishing in very specific, very targeted water. They are looking for proof that Sinclair's alleged defamation was not just a one-off post, but a coordinated campaign. If they can prove that Sinclair was actively shopping these claims around to media personalities, it strengthens their case for malice. Malice is a key legal standard in defamation cases involving public figures. Lively can't just prove the claims were false, She has to prove the blogger knew they were false or acted with a reckless disregard for the truth. Showing a coordinated effort to spread the story, potentially by feeding it to larger platforms, helps establish that reckless disregard. This is a high-level legal maneuver, and it completely changes the game. But this legal battle is not one-sided. The blogger is fighting back, and her defense strategy paints Blake Lively in a very different light. The expectation is that Lively is simply a mother protecting her child. The blogger's defense, however, argues that this is a classic SLAPP suit. That's SLAPP, and it stands for Strategic Lawsuit Against Public Participation. In court documents filed in response to the lawsuit, Kristen Sinclair's legal team filed what is known as an anti-SLAPP motion. This is a special legal tool designed to get lawsuits thrown out of court if they are seen as attempts by wealthy, powerful public figures to silence critics. Sinclair's motion argues that her posts were constitutionally protected free speech and that she was engaging in public commentary, which is her right. The argument is that Lively, as a massive celebrity, is using her immense wealth and legal resources to bully a smaller blogger into silence. The anti-SLAPP motion basically says this isn't a real defamation case, this is an intimidation tactic. This filing is critical because it reframes the entire narrative. Is Blake Lively a righteous mother defending her family? Or is she a powerful celebrity using the legal system to crush someone who said something she didn't like? The court will have to decide. The judge must first rule on this anti-SLAPP motion. If the judge agrees with Sinclair, the lawsuit could be dismissed entirely, and Lively might even be forced to pay Sinclair's legal fees. But if the judge denies the motion, the case moves forward into the discovery phase, which is exactly where these new subpoenas come into play. The fact that Lively's team is issuing these subpoenas now suggests they are preparing for that discovery phase. They are gathering ammunition. So let's look at the master strategy here. Subpoenaing Perez Hilton and Candace Owens is about more than just finding evidence. It's a public relations power move. This is the part that no one is talking about. The expectation is that this is just a normal legal process. The reality is that this is a scorched earth tactic designed to send a message to the entire media landscape. Think about it from the perspective of a public relations strategist. By legally compelling two of the most well-known and controversial commentators in the industry to turn over their private messages, Lively's team is creating a massive chilling effect. They are, in effect, hanging a sign in the town square that says, "Anyone who platforms Kristen Sinclair or repeats her claims will be next. We will demand your DMs. We will demand your emails. We will drag you into this lawsuit." It's an incredibly aggressive strategy. It forces every other gossip blogger, every YouTube commentator, and every media outlet to think twice before ever mentioning Sinclair's name or her allegations. The legal cost and public headache of fighting a subpoena from Blake Lively's team is something most smaller creators cannot afford. It's a brilliant, if ruthless, way to contain the story. It doesn't just fight the lawsuit against Sinclair, it actively works to deplatform her and erase the story from the internet by making her toxic to cover. This move isolates the original blogger. Perez and Candace were Kawasim for a reason. They have huge, engaged audiences. By targeting them, Lively's team gets the maximum possible return on their chilling effect strategy. Every other commentator sees this and knows to stay away. Finally, let's follow the money and the motive. What else could Lively's team be looking for in those DMs? The expectation is that they are just looking for proof of coordination, but the deeper reality might be that they are looking for a financial trail. Is it possible they are investigating whether this was a paid smear campaign? This is pure analysis, but it's a logical next step in a high-stakes defamation case. Were there payments exchanged? Did Sinclair get paid for tips? Was there any financial incentive for her to create and spread these claims? Proving a financial motive would be the ultimate evidence of malice. It would transform the case from one about a blogger's opinion to one about a deliberate, financially motivated attack. The legal expert analyzing this case would likely point out that this is a classic discovery tactic. Discovery is the part of a lawsuit where both sides get to demand evidence from each other. But by issuing third-party subpoenas to Perez and Owens, Lively's team is expanding the map. They are telling the court and the public that they believe this goes far beyond just one blogger's social media account. They are building a case that implies a potential conspiracy. This is how you win a defamation suit as a public figure. You have to show that the defendant, Sinclair, acted with actual malice, proving she was not just posting, but actively pushing the story to major media figures or even getting paid for it is the smoking gun they are looking for. The subpoenas are the tool they are using to find it. This whole strategy is about controlling the narrative, not just in the courtroom, but in the court of public opinion. So let's recap. The story everyone sees is Blake Lively sues Perez and Candace. The reality, based on the court records, is that Blake Lively is suing a blogger named Kristen Sinclair for defamation over comments made about her child. The blogger is fighting back, claiming this is a SLAPP suit intended to silence her. And the subpoenas against Perez Hilton and Candace Owens are not lawsuits, but aggressive legal demands for their private DMs with the blogger. This move serves two purposes. First, it seeks evidence of a coordinated campaign, which would help Lively's team prove actual malice in their defamation case. And second, it acts as a powerful PR warning shot to all other media, creating a chilling effect to stop the story from spreading any further. This is a masterclass in aggressive legal and public relations strategy. The key takeaway is how the wealthy and powerful can use the legal system not just to fight a case, but to control the entire media ecosystem surrounding it. This isn't just a lawsuit, it's an operation. And this kind of hidden PR playbook is used in almost every major celebrity scandal. To see how these strategies play out in other high-profile cases, you need to watch our next video. We break down the tactics used in the biggest Hollywood dramas in our Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist. Click here.